and gentlemen, this is coming the morning after the Boston Celtics won the 2024 NBA championship. And let's get to the narrative pushing. Let's go straight into the comparisons. Today, we are going to be ranking every single NBA champion since the 2000s, since the Bulls, I don't know, since the modern era. This is a post-merger list, but obviously some of these names, I'm not gonna lie, we just don't know a ball about or don't care enough about. I'm gonna just keep it a stat.
Yeah, don't care is definitely gonna be a description, but before any of that, I love all people! And this has been the worst season of all time. Easily, man. Not gonna drag the intro, but when you think about it, TSO Sage has had the worst NBA season of any YouTuber out there. But yeah, man, sorry, we're starting from like 77, dog. It has nothing to do with the teams prior. You want me and Bezos to lie to y'all, bro. We don't know. And that's fine.
Let's speed run these. 77, don't know ball.
Yeah.
Bullets, don't know ball.
Do not
79,
know.
don't know ball.
Do not
80,
know.
I understand this was Magic's rookie season.
Yeah, 80 was Magic's rookie year.
Man, we don't gotta fake it, man. Don't know ball. Don't know ball. Don't know ball. Don't know ball. Don't know ball.
Don't know ball.
Don't know ball. The 86
I'd say
do
from
know
86. Ball. Yeah, I'd say let's start from 86. From 86, all right, man. Like, have some accountability. The 86 Celtics, I put them at like A or S. I'm not gonna lie, relative to their era.
So we're not ranking these based off of like if they played in a 7-game series against each other, right? It's on some relative to their era. Like how impressive was the run?
That's actually a fantastic thing to establish. We could do compared to each other. I think low-key we probably should do compared to each other versus just relative to their era. But I think we should factor relativity as well too. Like kind of like one of them disingenuous both arguments. Like relative to its era, it's low-key S, but compared to other teams that are on this list, I don't think these are like the team that's whooping everybody. So I go A tier. I think it'll lose points because there's some other teams on here that probably give them a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go A tier, and I guess again, just for the rest of this video, the criteria is gonna be we're gonna take into account relativity, but it's also gonna be of man, if you roll out that ball, is the 07 Spurs busting the 86 Celtics ass. So I still think that's an A. That's still a great
still
team.
an A though. Yeah.
Next up, we got the 1987 Lakers, what many consider the peak of the Showtime Lakers.
Yeah, 86, 87. I'm very tempted to go out there and say S. Because they got 67 on them. They got 2 Hall of Famers on them. Both still hooping like they in their prime. Shout out Kareem for still being good at this point. Even though Kareem obviously, 17 points per game versus like the 30 points per game. But ain't no problem with Kareem at this point in his career. James Worthy stepped up. Byron Scott was good. I just think roll out that ball is tempting me to go A. But I think that's just me being done with the 90s. So I think I have to say the 87 Lakers is S technically. But I don't know. I might be on some bullshit later on this video.
I think we're gonna look back and say like the Showtime Lakers and those 80 Celtics are like generational era defining teams. So I think they're in the same tier, but it's on some. They both might have to be S or both might have to be A.
Yeah, you know what? Put them at A for now, and then we'll see how we feel later.
Next up, we got the 1988 Los Angeles Lakers, back-to-back champions, won 62 games.
They're just like same unit, a couple less wins, a bit worse. just same exact unit, unless you're like a crazy Tony Campbell stan, which shout out Tony Campbell, W in 2K. But yeah, unless you're a Tony Campbell stan, they're like the same tier, maybe a tad worse. So you do what you want with that. I ain't gonna lie. High B, low A.
I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna go B with that one. Next up, we got the 1989 Detroit Pistons.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? I'm
gonna be honest. This team, I mean, look, they bad. But they ain't that good. They ain't that good to me, man. I just think that this team was designed perfectly to be like that right hook, that left uppercut for this era of basketball. But I don't think that this team compared to others is going to, be world beaters. So I'd go like C tier, but I could get with a B tier even.
I think I'm gonna go B tier as well. I think this honestly is one of those era defining teams as well. But this is probably one of the few teams on this list that was like a led by committee team. I think the 2014 Spurs, the 2004 Pistons, unironically, are going to be one of those. All right, great team, but like dominant. And maybe it is just that top level that's like holding me back, that top star that they got. Respect to Isaiah Thomas, but I'm going to stick them at B. I don't think that's too bad.
Yeah, I'll say it. It's probably Isaiah Thomas on the lowest of keys, and we're probably just being nice about it.
Next up, we got the 1990 Detroit Pistons. Kind of similar to 88. I think their peak was probably the first season, and then the second season, they just pulled it through again. So I'm going to say B or C. Being consistent, probably C. Maybe that's dick suck. But.
Yeah, they're teetering around. When I'm looking at the numbers, essentially a slightly worse offense, but I think unironically a slightly better defense. Well, in terms of ranking in the league, yeah, but in terms of the actual numbers themselves, they're not like night and day. So I'd say for the most part, got less wins. What was less dominant compared to its era? I wouldn't mind going high C. So yeah, let's just put them in C tier. I think they're a bit worse.
C or B?
It's nothing different in my opinion about them though. So it's like,
yeah, it's literally the same.
Yeah, put them in B tier because that's nitpicky. I'll admit that's nitpicky. They're the same team. They're the same team.
Next up, we got the 1991 Bulls, the first championship Bulls.
Finally, we got Jordan, a superstar. Now he can get it done.
For me, I mean, 1991, Michael Jordan is one of them great players in NBA history. So, there's that. I don't think that this is exactly one of those S tier Bulls seasons, but I mean, you beat them. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's like Jordan that damn good. I'm thinking B or A because I don't think this Bulls team is as deep as other Bulls teams, but
I'm going to go B because there's just better teams in my opinion. More proven teams, more dominant teams as a whole. So I'm going to put them at B. 1992. The Chicago Bulls come back and repeat, win 67 games this time. And Jordan had another dominant season.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I say help. Obviously, the names necessarily don't change, but Scottie Pippen is just significantly a better player at this point. I think it's fair to say, yes, other players in terms of pure depth declined, but relative to that era, depth wasn't the biggest thing ever. And even comparing the potential Bulls versus whatever, you need a better version of Scottie Pippen more than you need John Paxson getting more buckets. So for me, I'd say this is definitely a higher version of B tier, if not A tier.
I'm going to go A tier. I think this was the best version of the first three-peat Bulls. And again, if we're talking about era-defining teams, yeah, 92.
They also won 67 games. I don't think
yeah, 67 games is crazy. 67 games is crazy. Next up, though, in 1993, the tail end of that three-peat, the Bulls did end up winning 10 less games, but 67 minus 10 is still 57. So it's still a 60-win team.
Fun fact for you.
Still a 60-win team, relatively the same team. I'm fine with sticking them at B. I'm fine with sticking them at
I'm actually going to go B tier. I think they're noticeably a bit worse, though, in terms of pure performance, in terms of statistics, but I don't think it's a night and day roster difference. I understand why some of you even may go C tier, but nah, I think they're the same squad, just had an off-ish year, but they still won, obviously.
Next up, we have the Houston Rockets in 1994. Now, just to refresh everyone's memory, this was the Houston Rockets who won 58 games led by Hakeem Olajuwon. He had Otis Thorpe, Vernon Maxwell, Robert Horry, and Kenny Smith as his supporting cast. I'm going to keep it a whole stack. In terms of just talent, it's one of the worst finals championship teams ever.
Yeah, I'm about to say, this is where we say relative to era, obviously Hakeem Olajuwon is a fantastic player and a huge problem. Hell, even for teams later on, they're going to have a problem to guard Hakeem. However, when we're factoring roll that ball out, LOL, dead ass, man, there's a lot of teams on this list taking these boys out. I may even go D tier. They can maybe debut a C tier, but I might even go D tier because I think it's just a matter of how bad we think a potential team is to like being worse than them more than the other way around.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go D tier. Again, there's a reason why Hakeem gets a lot of praise for carrying those teams, and it's because he didn't have much help. Respect to the Rockets, but it is what it is. In 1995, the Houston Rockets do repeat as NBA champions, this time with a much harder road to the finals. I believe this was the year where they faced a 57-plus win team every single round and then swept the finals. The Houston Rockets were actually a 47-win team in this season, so much worse than the season past. In terms of Hakeem's help, honestly, the same as last season. The big difference was Clyde, who I believe they got in the middle of the season, which was a really big part of their success. I'm gonna say honestly, this may be a better team than the seasons. I'm gonna say honestly, this might be a better team than the '94 team, but it's still probably CRD.
Yeah, so this team is weird. For me, roll the ball out, they got better. However, statistically, they got worse. For example, they only won 47 games versus like 57. They did go, I think Bezos actually missed the year there. They went 7 games with the Knicks, I want to say, in the finals. Oh, wait, no. I got it wrong. Oops. Yeah, I got it wrong. Oops. So they beat they swept the Orlando. They won 47 games, but they had Clyde Drexler, who was giving them 21. So it's weird for me to say that they got worse, even though you could argue that they were less successful, but they were more tried and true in the postseason. So this may be the most inconsistent ranking, but maybe I go C tier. I think they're just a better talented team. It clearly showcased by the fact that yes, they didn't win that many regular season games. Maybe there's an injury that me and Bezos just weren't born for to know. But yeah, I think that this team talent-wise and hell, even just schematically got better on paper, but I don't know. I get like this is a weird team to rank. I guess I'll go C tier.
C or D, whichever one y'all pick, chat. It doesn't really matter. No, we're not.
Yeah, I'm not dying.
Not B though.
Rockets, yeah, no, not B.
The '96 Bulls.
I'm pretty positive this might be my first S without a doubt, but let me double check on that.
Man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm pretty positive the 72 win. Wait, this is the 72 year, correct?
Yes.
I'm about to say, I'm pretty positive the team that won 72 games. Yeah, that's an S tier team. This is literally the top ranked offense and the third ranked defense. Or some shit like that. I think, oh, my bad. Pardon the fuck out of me. It's first and first. Yeah, no. I think the dominance relative is there. I think the players are there. I think the superstar is there. Yeah, it's S. I'm sorry, gang.
Now that I am looking at how this list is playing out, I would personally probably move up 86 and 87, Boston and LA, but we'll keep going.
We'll keep going because I don't like my cluttered S tiers. We'll keep going.
Yeah.
We'll see what's up.
1997, the Chicago Bulls win again, this time winning 69 games, I believe, right? Which is a weird number that I don't think has ever been done.
Nice.
This
season, you could argue that Jordan was a tad bit worse. If you want to do that, I wouldn't do it. But if you want to go there, sure. I think this team isn't that much different, but statistically, I mean, they're a bit worse. So if you want to go A tier for that, I can understand. I just probably wouldn't do it. But I can understand.
Yeah, I think this is one of those teams that just kind of gets overlooked because they aren't the 70-win team. And they're in the middle of a three-peat, not the first, not the last. This also isn't like a insanely impressive Jordan year. But yeah, 69 wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like
69
like
wins.
it's not 70. It's not 70, but 69 wins is a lot of fucking wins, man. Like I don't know about just saying that they're like at lowest they're A tier, but I could if we're gonna be picky with S, I can understand that. So it's nothing below A tier.
I'm sticking with S. They're not too different.
That's
from
fine
the
with you,
96
man.
team.
That's fine with me.
Now the 98 team, I do think the fatigue was starting to get at them. The 6th championship run, Jordan's final year, there was a little bit more turmoil in the city of Chicago. This time around, Scottie Pippen was injured. Dennis Rodman wasn't the same. So the 98 team, I would actually bump all the way down to B.
Yeah, in the 98 team, for those that don't know, Michael Jordan during these first 2 seasons is basically like averaging 30 in the playoffs on like 49 50s. Not saying that this is bad, obviously, but he goes down to like a 46% shooter. Still putting up 32 a night. Nobody's slandering Michael Jordan here. Then Scottie Pippen, this is his 2nd year putting up around 17 on 40, 41. Dennis Rodman was never exactly a scorer, but you still appreciated his rebounding, which was still there. Ron Harper was pretty much like done. So for a lot of this team is definitely a noticeable. All right, now how much more you got? How much more you got? And then especially with the documentary that came out, that's just not even a narrative thing. That's just damn near fact that how much more you got, what's going on in that locker room. I'm comfortable saying B tier.
Yeah, it was closer to a carry job than a lot of people want to make it seem, which is crazy again coming from the season that they had. But it is what it is. It's a B tier. It's a B tier. The 1999 San Antonio Spurs, Tim Duncan's first championship in his second year in the league. Hella impressive.
That's very impressive.
Going up against the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals. This was a lockout year for those who don't remember. I don't remember. I wasn't born this year.
I was, but was I watching basketball? No, I was in the womb.
37 win team in a shortened season was on pace for 60 wins. So the San Antonio Spurs, scale it up to 82 games, was a 60-win team. This was the only year where Tim Duncan and David Robinson were both healthy and, they were both productive. David Robinson was still a 16, 10, and 2.4 block per game guy. Tim Duncan wasn't peak Tim Duncan, but he was still 22, 11, and 2 to 3 blocks a game on good efficiency. In terms of a front court duo, it is up there in NBA history. I can't lie. But in terms of this list, still might be B, bro. I don't know. Still might be B.
It's flirting with B tier. I could genuinely hear an argument for C tier because the team, I think it's safe to say, everyone outside of that front court, unless you're a crazy Sean Elliott fan, and even then some of you guys count forwards in the front court, I'd say it's okay. It's solid team. Nothing to crazy brag about like Avery Johnson. Woo! You feel me? But Tim Duncan and David Robinson, I mean, for the love of God, they were giving you 2.5 blocks a night in the postseason. Team led nothing is surprising about what that front court did. They led the team in blocks, averaging 7 a game, bro. Ay caramba. That's such a dominant duo up front. That
I'm
it's
probably
definitely
leaning
not D
towards
tier.
C.
It's definitely not D
towards,
tier.
okay.
I'm going C.
Yeah, I'm going C just because in the B tier, we do got the Bad Boy Pistons, both
I
of
think
them.
they're giving them a problem.
Yeah, so having those Spurs teams same tier as the Pistons team, gotta respect those Pistons teams a little bit more. So 99, you were the first C tier team, man. The 2000 Los Angeles Lakers. 67 wins. League MVP Shaquille O'Neal. I believe he was second in DPOY. First championship ring of many for the Los Angeles Lakers in the early 2000s. Sage, where do you have this team ranked?
Hey, man, look, dog. My Lakers, man. Ron Harper still playing basketball somehow. For my Lakers, I think the first ring from just a statistical point of view, you could argue even A. I think this team didn't hit its peak of powers yet because it was looked as a dynamic duo thing. And I think Kobe is just not there yet, but he getting there. So I'm not even necessarily offended by a B, but obviously you can go A.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B. It would just be a crazy Shaq diff. Shaq was just different this year type of thing. All I know is 2001 is S. That's all I know. I think statistically it's kind of similar to the Rockets, the 90s Rockets, in terms of they got worse in terms of wins, but Kobe in 01 was just completely different from Kobe in the year 2000, while Shaq was still Shaq. So I'm gonna go, I understand I'm skipping here. I'm gonna go 2001 S. 2000, I'm still cool with them being in A.
That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine with me there for sure. And by the way, just so I get my point out in 2001, easy S. My God, we're talking about the 2001 Lakers beating the greatest roster of the modern era, or any team going forth. Just because who the hell is going to stop that version of Kobe Bryant and that version of Shaquille O'Neal? Answer was nobody. And even for these teams that we will name later on in this video, let alone earlier in this video, the answer is nobody. It's just you just gotta hope that you beat the other ones. You're not stopping Shaq and Kobe, bro.
Next up, we have the last team of the early 2000s three-peat with the Lakers. 2002, Sage, where do you have them?
So in 02, it's not like anybody gets significantly worse between Shaq and Kobe. The issue that 02 has is, I'm not gonna lie, it seemed more like an evident carry job outside of Rick Fox in the postseason. I think I'm cool with A because it's also not a crazy, absurdly dominant year from Kobe, but it's still a damn good year from Kobe Bryant. So I'm not too pissed off to say A tier because I think Kobe in the postseason took a little bit of a dive, just a tad bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go A tier. I'm gonna go A tier as well. I don't think that's too bad. It was still Shaq, Kobe, Lakers. That's still always gonna be up there. Although I am looking at that 2000 team now, they might have to go up to S2.
Yeah, that 2000 team is very much. I'm looking at you, and to be honest, I'm being blunt. 2000s, it's not even on some stat shit. Obviously, we're at the point in time where I think it's safe to say we know a little bit about what we're talking about in terms of eye testable. Whoop, whoop. I just think that Kobe definitely was just like, I don't know what it was. Like this nigga got a ring and then unlocked 100 XP. I don't know. He just built different the next season.
Well, 2001 in the playoffs was the playoffs where y'all only lost one game in the playoffs. So I'm fine with keeping 01 there. But I'm looking at this 2000 team accounted for both the regular season and the playoffs. Y'all had a significantly better regular season, bro. First in net rating at 9.1. First in defense, fifth in offense. Next season, the defense slipped from first defense to the 21st defense. Like, to me, that regular season gap is big enough to warrant that 2000 team being an S team.
It's not a bad argument. I'm not even going to debate you. That's not a bad argument because I said it can be S, but I'm not mad at it. Also, overtime, yeah, Boston and LA probably are going to bump up. The way shit is panning out, which is fine.
Also, y'all had Glenn Rice in 2000, man. Shout out Glenn Rice.
Big Rice, never the little shooter.
The 2003 San Antonio Spurs.
One of the most slandered rings on this channel, and it's from one person entirely. B-Soul's floor is yours.
This is D. I'm sorry. No. It's no hate, bro. In terms of the context of this video, that is one of the greatest carry jobs in history by Tim Duncan. But in terms of a team, that team was not that good, bro. Which I do think is ironic because, again, when we think of the Spurs, we think of a class act organization, team basketball, all of these things. But for those who are like new to basketball, that's honestly a 2007 and on thing. Prior to that, Tim Duncan was backpacked. Tim Duncan was backpacking a decent amount. So this team, I'm gonna put at D.
Tim Duncan fans, I ain't with you this time. Well, no, I am with you this time. That team wasn't that good. I can't even do it. That team, pre-prime Tony Parker, way past his prime David Robinson, Bruce Bowen was cool. Steven Jackson weren't even all that. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay to say that this team wasn't that good.
Next up, we have the 04 Pistons.
The next gen bad boys, if you will.
The 04 Pistons, I'm feeling a B tier.
You know what's funny? I know it's like not the most prevalent joke, but I genuinely do view this team as the next gen Bad Boy Pistons because it's kind of the same schematic song and dance of just being that right hook, left uppercut team of this era. Because you look at the names, you're like, they ain't gonna do shit. But hey, you score them. you get a bucket. So I think very similar stature, very similar team. The question is the talent as similar? And maybe you just feel a way about Chauncey Billups versus what's his name? Isaiah Thomas. But when I'm going down the names of Richard Hamilton, Rashid Lewis, sorry. Tayshaun Prince to a lesser degree, Ben Wallace to a higher degree. I think that they at least average out in terms of the help. So yeah, B tier is no issue with me.
I think in terms of the roll the ball out argument too, the 04 Pistons really hold themselves pretty well in today's era. Like, we're talking about a team that actually has like a stretch four, insanely good rim protector in Ben Wallace. They got a point guard that can shoot. They got a sharpshooter at the two, and Tayshaun Prince can stretch out the floor a little bit. You got length in all positions, versatility in all positions. I think that was a team legitimately ahead of its time. But nevertheless, I think if you roll out the ball, they're still a B. They're still a B.
Yeah,
team,
I think this B tier. It's fine.
I think they catch the Lakers on a different universe, and still they might lose that series type shit if like Kobe just performs better. But the 2005 San Antonio Spurs, they went to 7 games in the NBA Finals against the Detroit Pistons. The 2005 San Antonio Spurs did, however, win 59 games. That was good enough for the second best record in the Western Conference. Still had Tim Duncan. Tony Parker was starting to come into himself. Manu Ginobili was starting to be a much more productive player. This is the start of the San Antonio Spurs being the San Antonio Spurs as we know it. I'm feeling a strong B for this one as well.
Yeah, I think this is a solid B tier without a shadow of a. I think this is definitely a solid B tier because in the regular season, sure, Manu was pretty much like he's hopping into his prime, but he's not quite there yet. However, in the postseason, we got a very large glimpse of what Manu Ginobili could be for this team. Tony Parker, obviously, statistically, didn't make the crazy leap, but I think it's very fair to say Tony Parker 4 more seasons, or what was it, 3 more seasons, pardon me? Oh, 2, shit. But Tony Parker, he was 20 years old. Tony Parker with more experience definitely was a better player as well. Tim Duncan is still Tim Duncan, fun fact of the day. So, yeah, I think this is easy B tier for me.
Next up, we have the 06 Heat.
See, Dwayne Wade's fantastic. Shaq actually is somewhat underrated here. Everyone else,
Not too much. Man.
Hey, man. Hey, compared to all the teams out here, man. Look, big UD, never the little one, but you feel me? Jason Williams was what happened to you in the postseason. I ain't gonna lie. Antoine Walker kind of stepped up, I guess. I think that was just a matter of being like one of the better perimeter players on a team that had to do it if Dwayne Wade wouldn't do it. And
he's like the PJ Washington of this team.
Yeah, like you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm probably going C tier, but I could understand somebody going B tier because Dwayne Wade in the postseason was fucking brilliant, let alone in the finals.
Nah, it's C tier. I think C tier is actually perfect for this team. I think the other teams are just more well-rounded. They didn't rely on like the MJS performance, but they're still not bad enough to be like a one-man carry crew, 03 Spurs type of thing. So C's right in the middle.
Yeah, I think for those that are like, why not 94, 95 Rockets, I think Shaq is just good enough to hold that team down, and Dwayne Wade is definitely great enough to get the job done.
Next up, we have the 2007 San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs this season won 58 games, swept the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals. Tony Parker won finals MVP this time around. I do believe, if not 05, this is the pinnacle of the 2000 Spurs, which a lot of people do consider a dynasty. So for me, this might be the first S. For the Spurs, excuse me.
I'm going to go A, only because I don't think this postseason was exactly a masterclass for Manu Ginobili. But obviously, Tony Parker winning finals MVP tells you how well-rounded this team was. And then again, shocker to nobody, Tim Duncan is still Tim Duncan. So for me, at least, I would go A, but I could hear S, but I just don't think it's realistically. I'm being blunt. I think roll out that ball actually does them justice to getting them to A tier, but it definitely does some damage when it comes to I don't think they really beat the 96 or 7 Bulls. I don't think that they beat Shaq and Kobe. I don't necessarily know if they beat Showtime, but maybe we've been disrespecting 86, 87, but that's where I'm kind of like, they could. I just doubt it.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I'm not mad at A. We could stick about A. We might have to stick the 05 Spurs at A too, though. I can't lie. I was looking back at that 05, like how Manu was performing in the playoffs.
Yeah, Manu was great that postseason. That's why I had them at I know I said B, but Manu was great that postseason.
You could put him up at A, man. Shout out to the Spurs.
Type shit.
Next up, another team that won on 6-17. The 2008 Boston Celtics, man.
How you feeling about the 08 Celtics now that you don't have to boost them up anymore, man? Or are they still them to you?
They are still them to me.
Type shit.
They are still. I think this is a team that, started the ball in terms of the Superteam era for better or for worse. But that still came with the recognition that in their first season they won 66 games, bro. And I think from a net rating perspective, everyone likes to bring that up now. They are top 6 all time in the regular season. Now in the postseason, though, hey, this definitely started the Celtics play down to their competition argument, because going to 7 against Zaza Pachulia in the first round, what are we doing? And then Bron taking them to 7. Shout out to Bron, but that wasn't even peak Bron. What are we doing? Hell, even against the Lakers, I felt like there should have been a shorter series, respectfully.
Yeah, Lakers and Pistons, they went 6.
Yeah, so, but in terms of just being a well-rounded team, honestly, again, another team ahead of its time, this is S, man. This is one of the teams you roll out, and I don't know what's going to happen.
I think relative to the era, the Boston Celtics definitely are like, they established the super team thing. They have the talent, whoop, whoop, and they definitely played down in their competition. I'm glad B-Souls brought that up. However, when we're talking about potentially taking out like a Shaq and Kobe, taking out a Jordan and Pippen. I don't think they can do that. However, I do think they pub stomp a lot of the teams we mentioned earlier. So I'm probably going high A tier.
All right.
But I could see S though. Really,
I'll put him at S. You got the next two though. You got the next two.
Oh my god!
Next up, we got the 09 Lakers. Man.
This nigga said, "I'm gonna put him at S." You got the next two. Well, shit, we agenda push. For me, obviously, team near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite teams of all time. I think this is one of my favorite finals performances from Kobe Bryant of all time. I don't care about the statistics. He mind fucked. Well, you can't really say that anymore. It's 2024, but he schematically cooked Dwight Howard, in my personal opinion. And then he was fantastic prior to the finals in terms of stats. Kobe Bryant was on a tear in the postseason. You had Pau Gasol giving you 18 on 58, Lamar Odom, Trevor Ariza. This was kind of like the clap back to the super team Celtics. That's why I said it's definitely for worse, because some of you guys, by the changing definition of super team, would argue that this was a super team. I think it's a bit of a reach, but yeah. Now, do I think that they would realistically beat Shaq and Kobe, Jordan Pippen? No. However, I do think that they could probably beat the Celtics. We'll find out about that really soon. So I think they have to be in the same tier. So if the Celtics are S, Lakers are S2. For sure.
All right, fine. I'll bring out.
Oh, okay, then. Okay. I'm like, they're right there. They're right there, bro.
I'll bring them down, I guess.
I fucking bet.
Bro. No, because I ain't gonna lie. Now that we're getting to the second half, I'm looking at some of these teams. Ooh, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
09 Lakers and the 17 Warriors should be in the
That's
same
what I'm saying.
tier.
Hey, when I was spoiling who gonna be up there, that's why I'm stingy with my S tier, man. I'm looking at those 80s teams still, chat, but I'm stingy with my S tier for a reason, man.
Next up, we have the 2010 Los Angeles Lakers. You got the next two, man.
I mean, exact same tier, to be very honest with you. As much as I want to go S, I'm not going to act like it's a night and day difference. This team, the best argument for it is that they ran through some comp. they took out that OKC team, swept the Jazz, took out that Suns team, and then played Boston in the finals. I think, so if you want to give them relativity points there as an argument for S, I hear you, because the great dominant team played the other dominant teams. However, I just don't think roll that ball out, they got significantly better. I think that Kobe Bryant in 2009 may even be better in the postseason, but it's like the same guy. I think Pau Gasol definitely improved. I think Meta World Peace, in terms of impact for us, certainly was an improvement. Derek Fisher, Lamar Odom, pretty much the same guy. Bynum, pretty much the same guy. So I don't think that it's anything too crazy to say that they're an entire tier above the version of themselves last year.
I'd actually like to make the argument that this is B. I think that 09 team was just special because y'all had 65 wins? 65 wins in the regular season in that West. I think y'all were just more consistently dominant and more successful in 2009 as well. I think going back to back, specifically going to 3 straight finals, this was all right, let's just cross to the finish line season, similar to the 98 Bulls. So I would personally put them at B, and I just don't know about them being better than the Bad Boy. This iteration of this Laker team being better than the Bad Boy Pistons. Maybe we're just, to me, the litmus test right now for what an A or a B is the Bad Boy Pistons, but I don't know.
I'm thinking about them versus the 91 Bulls. And I think that's a good series. I mean, obviously, I think any team between B to S. By the way, let's establish this now. 90% of the teams between B to S tier are giving each other bump. I do think they hilariously pub stomp every team in C below.
Yeah. It's B at the very least.
I could hear B. If you want to go there, I'm not mad at it. I'm not crying about it.
All right, man. Let's go B now. Let's go B. All right. 2011 Dallas Mavericks, man. Shout out to the Mavs. Big Mavs.
Hey, this is a team that aged like wine for many of you. For those that don't know, a lot of people thought initially that this was a choke job out of LeBron, and it was. But people more and more looking at this Mavs team, they're like, actually, shit makes sense. After all, this team definitely goes through the gauntlet. They beat the Blazers, but then they go on to beat OKC in 2011, which, if you don't know what happens in 2012, OKC, really good team. They take out the big three Heat, and they even sweep the NBA champions of the year prior in my Lakers. Very disappointing series out of them, by the way. Yes, I know the injuries. Dirk Nowitzki was fantastic. Jason Kidd tried to turn back the clock, didn't really do a great job at it, but he tried. Jason Terry, Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, and of all fucking people, JJ Barea were huge for this team, and they were just well coached. I could say, I don't want to go A tier. I feel like that's a little too much love, but I would probably say B tier for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B tier. I think they were a much more well-rounded team than the 99 and 06 Heat. Am I taking a decent amount of these B tier teams over the 2011 Mavs?
That's why I said, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I do think the 2010 Lakers, the year prior, I don't know what the fuck was up with them. I don't know what was in the air the year before. I mean, the year after. I don't know what was going on, but I do think the championship Lakers specifically, they ain't lacking. I think 09, they're definitely winning. I think 91-93 Bulls versus this Mavs team would be a hilarious 1-to-1 to find out. Was it fluke or was it the defense in a Michael Jordan versus supplementing for LeBron thing? So I think this is a very fair ranking for them.
Next up, we have the 2012 and 2013 Heat. This is an interesting conversation that I think me and Sage had recently. It's just the difference between were the Heat a better team when D Wade wasn't knee Wade, or were they better in the year where D Wade was knee Wade, but they got Ray Allen and Shane Battier and that crew?
I'm pretty sure me and Misos actually disagreed here. I don't know how he feels today. But I'm going to say, and without spoiling what I'm going to think about 2013, I'm going to say that this is going to be like mid-high A. Because Dwayne Wade this season, you do something about it, man. Like Dwayne Wade, I know statistically LeBron is still better. Nobody's saying that Wade was better, but B-Souls, and we gonna have an Unk moment on shows like First Take, FS1, barbershops, lunch tables. Dwayne Wade was so good. People were like, oh yeah, he's still the best player in Miami. Like, what the? Yo, Wade was fucking good, bro. Don't let nothing fool you. So for me, I'm probably going to say that Wade, Braun, Bosch definitely taking out a lot of teams in B tier to where I go A tier. Now, in terms of S tier, I have my reserves because I don't think the roster was that deep. Case in point, Joel Anthony had to play. Joel Anthony had to play for you, man. And anytime Joel Anthony's on the court, yeah, you losing points for that, even though he wasn't the worst technically in the postseason.
I'm gonna go A. I think LeBron in just this point of his career was just dominant. That like, if you give him an elite 2-2, God, like roll the ball out against like the 08 Celtics, the 86 Celtics, like they're still A. The conversation is really A or S. Now Miami, that's S to me. I think this video would be such an L if none of those Heat teams was an S team, man.
Yeah, 2013 I think is an irrefutable, undisputable S. It's like exactly what you want out of a hypothetical super team. Dominance in the regular season. They set the fucking record for a win streak, for the love of God. Then I think the reason why I think they're clearly a tier above the Heat in 2012 is the depth of this team is just night and day. I mean, we could just stop at Ray Allen, for the love of God, if we really had to, but Wade's still relative. He's a little bit worse, you could argue, but I don't think he fell that much off, to be very blunt with you. Chris Bosh, if anything, got more comfortable in his role in 2013. Norris Cole, I know that sounds Mickey, but I promise you that that's how bad the depth was in 2012. Norris Cole was huge for this team. Shane Battier was still around. UD was still around. You finally were able to play someone not named Joel Anthony, which matters to me a ton. I think 2013 is a very easy S tier team.
Next up, we have the 2014 San Antonio Spurs. Very, very interesting team because I think along with the 04 Pistons, hell, even the 08 Celtics, like they just didn't have that MVP winner caliber guy, you know, all-time great type dude. Well, obviously Tim Duncan. They had some all-time great dudes, but y'all know what I mean. But in terms of team dominance, this is one of those teams that exemplifies the basketball is a team sport ass take. Definitely. So they finished the team with the best record in the league, I believe. Let me look at it. Okay, they actually went to 7 against the Mavs in the first round, so forgot about that. They 4-1 the Blazers, they 4-2'd the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then they 4-1 the Miami Heat and blew them out in every single game outside of the only game where Miami won, where they only won by 2.
This is the basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court type team. Spurs ball was at its all-time high in this and with this team as well. It just seemed like schematically they were the perfect counter for the Big Three Heat, and I think that is a formula that would work against a lot of teams. However, and what Bezos was alluding to, maybe he didn't word it the best, maybe I'm not about to word it the best, but essentially an all-time great playing at an all-time level was missing. Not that an all-time great wasn't on the court. So for me, do I think that they can beat a lot of teams in B tier and some of the teams in A tier? Yes, but I think that I feel weird saying that they're like this pub stop. Like, put it this way, I think the 07 Spurs are giving them work, but I don't think that like they can't beat the 08 Celtics, if that makes sense. It's such a weird team to fucking rank, bro. This is like a trap car team, put it that way. So I'd go high B, low A out of genuine respect, but it's like a trap card ass team, bro. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, because I don't even think like everyone likes to use that net rating stat now. Like net rating, they weren't like historically great as well. I think the 07 Spurs actually have a higher net rating than them, and the highest net rating of a Spurs team actually in history was 2016, where they won like 67 games too.
And
but 2014, I think I'm fine leaving them at A. B.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, do I think they're noticeably a tier above Dallas? No. However, do I think they can beat more teams on this list than Dallas? Hell yeah. So it's like,
it's weird too, because a lot of Spurs fans would say like this is the best team they had.
Yeah,
in that
I
dynasty.
disagree with that. I think that's 2016, and that 2016 is just the damning era of Spurs fans, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, but roll of dice. I'm putting A. Fuck it.
That's fine. That's fine. Let me double down on if I feel that 2016 was the best team they had, but I think 2016 was a damn good team. Yeah, I'll probably say it's 2016. Ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Next up, we have the 2015 Golden State Warriors, the dawn of the light skin and Under Armours.
Oh, man. The 6'3" light skin and Under Armour shooting from 30 foot finally paid off. For me, the 2015 Warriors, unironically, aren't the best edition of them. In terms of that trio, we don't see that trio on the list because of a certain someone. But in terms of the Warriors, I think that this team gets a bad shake in NBA history. I think the Warriors are fucking up a lot of people because what the fuck is this dude shooting from 30? Oh, and winning it. So I think that alone puts them at like a B tier, maybe even an A tier.
I'm whatever the word is for opposite of benefit of the doubt. I actually do think they give a lot of the A tier teams a decent challenge, but I just know what's coming up next, man. I just and they're not even on this list.
He's hindering them. Yeah, for those who are pissed, me and Bezos, hypothetically 2016 Warriors bare minimum A tier. I just think that they're literally, this isn't the best version of this team. Like, what the fuck? Because of a certain someone. Speaking of that certain someone, my one intro to the team, the 2016 Cavs, man. Woo, ay caramba. It's a good team. It's a good player. That's what it really is. It's a good player.
They were a good team too, man. I think they had depth too. You know, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Richard Jefferson. Delly was still on that team. Obviously, they had the star power. You know what's crazy? I looked at this regular season. I think Kyrie had like an awful regular season. But we all know what I mean. Kyrie's on that team. Kalo was on that team. Bron. Definitely a roll out the ball team.
It certainly is a roll the ball out team.
Yeah.
For those that are offended by what Bezos said about Kyrie Irving, regular season, he just wasn't good. I'm not going to lie. 19 points, or if you want to round it up to 20, be my guess. 45, 32 from three. Yeah, they don't even sound like Kyrie. But in the postseason, I mean, night and day, he averages 25 on 47, 44.
32% from three from Kyrie is nuts, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Kyrie Irving
50 game sample size, too. Like, what the fuck?
That don't sound like Kyrie, bro. It's a very fair statement to say he was bad in the regular season. I know some people are going to be on your head for that. Nah, it's not the case. But yeah, this is probably the roll the ball out team because schematically speaking, Bad Boy Pistons giving them a problem, right? 88 Lakers is giving them a problem, right? The 04 Pistons probably give them an issue. Dang.
They
beating
gonna beat the
LeBron.
08 Celtics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they not beating LeBron and Kyrie. On top of that, you gotta respect K-Love. I understand the shot wasn't falling, but you gotta respect K-Love. So I think they probably doing every team in B tier dirty, except maybe the modern teams. I go A tier just cause. Just I ain't gonna lie, just cause I think roll the ball out. This is one of the more talented teams on the list.
Yeah. Motherfuckers are gonna have a problem with them being better than some of them Jordan
definitely
Bulls,
better.
though.
Yeah, some of them Bulls teams. That's probably the one B tier team that's gonna give them like serious. Well, no, I'm lying because I think the 2010 Lakers and the 2015 Warriors obviously are relative as well. So maybe they do deserve to be in B tier. But it's just, I'm gonna be honest, it's literally just a roll out the ball vibe I'm getting with this team. That's like, you deal with them.
Yeah, I will say another team that we should probably move up to me. The 92 Bulls. I think we just kind of hold them because 96 and 97 were where they were. But that was a team that won 67 games. Jordan was Jordan.
I just don't think Pippen was on timing. That was my issue with them. Let me double check. But I just don't think Pippen was on the timing that I liked him to be on. Let me see. Because Scottie Pippen in the season, in the regular season averaged 21, but in the postseason he averaged like 19.
Yeah, 19.5.
That ain't that bad.
He still shot 47.
They didn't have Rodman, didn't have Kukoc, didn't have Ron. Comment below. You feel me? Like, comment below, man, because the Pippen argument's a bad argument, but they didn't have the names that are missing, that are definitely not there in 96, 7, and 8.
Yeah. Nevertheless, 2017 Warriors S. Come on, man.
Woo! Yeah. Depressing team for sure. Now, did I have hate for Kevin Durant? No, but was I like, well, that's that. The story's over. Hell yeah. What the fuck? What the absolute hell were we even thinking of talking about somebody potentially beating them? It's Steph, KD, Draymond, and Clay on the same unit. We literally compare them to the teams above in terms of who could beat them. I think this, if anything, our S tier, people are going to get mad that it's potentially stingy, but this is the most consistent S tier we've ever seen, because anytime we bring up this Warriors team, who are the teams that we bring up that could beat them? The teams on the left. Literally the three teams on the left we talk about. So, yeah, I think this is easy S, no debates out of me.
2018, not as easy of an S. But I think this was a season where they was legitimately just fucking coasting in the regular season just to prepare for the playoffs, but that was still the same team. I can't lie.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I know the argument some of you guys are going to try to make, but put it this way. Do you think that team was in not only such a different tier that they deserve to be lower than the 2017, but then such a different tier that you think that this team is in conversations with like the 07 Spurs? Gang?
No.
and maybe it's headcanon of us in real life, which is weird, but I believe as well this team was just unserious in the regular season. They were like, bro, they can't beat us, bro.
And they still won 58
fucking
games.
around. Yeah, they just fucking around and casually won 60 games type shit. So
2019 Raptors with Kawhi Leonard.
This is one of the more tried true teams on this list because technically they play the God Squad Warriors. I'm sorry. And then in the East, they go through a gauntlet. However, when we talk about the actual champions compared to this team, that's C gang. They not.
Wow.
Kawhi is doing crazy work on a lot of these teams. Pause if needed. But I don't know. I think, like, for example, if you're gonna try to out defend the Pistons, good luck. Yeah, you feel me? Like you're gonna try to out lock up the Pistons. Good luck. Now I might bump up to B because I do think Kawhi Leonard being able to guard Isaiah Thomas would be a huge problem for that hypothetical matchup. I do think Kawhi. Actually, I might go B tier. Actually.
Yeah, I'm going B tier.
Yeah, I'm going B tier. I talked myself into it. I'm unbiased. I talk myself into it because when I'm looking at the teams directly in B tier, y'all swear I'm a Kawhi hater all the time, and I am until he leaves. But seriously, put Kawhi Leonard on Curry, on a Kobe, or on an IT, on a Jordan here in the B tier squad. That Raptors team actually is going to have at least a chance, if not get some W's there. So yeah, I'm gonna go B tier. Actually, I've talked myself up versus what I was originally going to say.
Yeah, I'm going to go B tier. This is an extremely well-rounded team, man. I can't lie. And the top level, it ain't historic Shaq, LeBron up there, but 2019 Kawhi, wait, motherfuckers were talking about 2019 Kawhi was still crazy. So
yeah, now I don't think that 2019 Kawhi was the best player on the court if they played the Bulls. God damn it.
Next up, man, the 2020 Lakers.
You know what's so annoying? It's 2024. So if I were to say A, that triggers you. But bro, this is just an embodiment of how incompetent our front office is. Because this team shouldn't be viewed in a light where, hey, dog, put the 2020 Lakers in A tier right now. Who the fuck is stopping that? When you build a team properly around them, who the fuck is stopping this, bro? Especially this version of AD specifically. Now, if you want to argue 2024 AD is better because, no injuries, better defense, go for it, gang. But an Anthony Davis with a pull-up mid-range looking like goddamn KD, and a LeBron 4 years younger than the LeBron we know today, who can play defense but just wasn't at times, fair enough, giving you 10 assists, 20 points, still looking like one of the best finishers I've ever seen in my life, an actual defense from top to bottom, physical Biggs and McGee, and oh my God, we're so dumb. I'm going to be fighting a war in the comment section, but I promise you, and maybe B-Souls has my back here, this team shouldn't even be a conversation. It's not shouldn't be a conversation, but it is because the Lakers are so incompetent. We view this team poorer as the years go by. But in hindsight, this team's fantastic.
I think I agree. I actually agree. I think this team is A. It's just the optics of the shortened season and y'all legitimately playing in front of a Zoom call in the NBA Finals. I'm just imagining, bro, like if the season played out how it was supposed to, y'all won all of those games and Staples Center, Crypto Arena. You know what I'm saying? LeBron was holding that championship in front of LA. I don't think we're having any of these conversations because from a talent perspective, y'all got it. I will say this, for a team that's been very injury riddled, I do think that 3-4 month gap where the world just stopped did help y'all the most out of every team. But in terms of just, the talent being there and executing the way it was supposed to, the Lakers, A tier, man. A tier. Next up, we got the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks.
Whew. This is low key. I never thought I would say this. This may be one of the 5 roll the ball out teams on this list. Because from like a statistical lens or whatever, in terms of what we as modern day fans view is good, yeah, for sure. But relative to the era, there's other teams that were more dominant or better built for their era of basketball. However, man, you tell me to roll that ball out, Drew, Middleton, that version of Giannis, that version of Brook Lopez, that version of Bobby Portis. That's a tough out, bro. Am I going to say that the Spurs could give them what? Well, 07 Spurs might give them work. I will admit that. 07 Spurs might get them. But then I do think they're like not high B, low A.
High B. I'm going high B.
Low A.
I don't feel comfortable putting them with like these historic teams up in A. Yeah, no, that team was fantastic though. I can't lie. Very well-rounded team. Obviously, Giannis was fucking Giannis. Big Drew, never the little one. But yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with the Bucks at 21. The 2022 Warriors.
Whew.
I'm gonna start this one off, man.
Go ahead.
This is a C, man. This is a C, bro. I think we're gonna look back in history and say like that carry job by Curry was just crazy. Like how much Curry really like carried this squad was kind of crazy. And I think with respect to the 22 Celtics, if the 22 Celtics were the team that was supposed to win, that just let them get away, I don't even think the 22 Celtics would be a B tier. Like they'd probably be a B tier here. So B at most. Let me say that. B at most. But again, this was similar to the 98 Bulls, and even to the 2010 Lakers to a certain extent. This was the last hurrah, squeeze the lemon out of all of its lemon juice ass team. But in terms of dominant, well-rounded teams, I just don't think it's up there, to be honest.
Yeah, don't think. I know it's not. They're getting smoked by every team in B tier, despite how you guys may feel about the Dallas Mavericks. But hey, grow up, gang. For me, the question is how good is Steph Curry, to be very blunt with you, because I have them in D tier because I think it fits the principle of Hakeem Olajuwon and
you
Tim
have
Duncan.
them in D. Damn.
I don't think they're that good. I think Curry is just He's Stephen Curry, man. I think this year for me was such a like deserved year for Steph Curry because the arguments were exhausting. Not to go down the Warriors sphere, but the arguments around Curry at this point were so exhausting. Not a Finals MVP, not a true number one type of bullshit or whatever. Mickey Superteam merchant, whatever. And then this season, he's just shutting them all down. Even bad defender got shut down. He was a damn good defender as well. Because I remember vividly, you guys tried to post him up with Jason Tatum. Curry was hands behind his back, like, what the fuck you doing? But everybody else, you would have to convince me that Jordan Poole was so fantastic. And to be fair, he has great playoff numbers. But you'd have to convince me that Jordan Poole is such a fantastic player. That Draymond in 2022 was still great enough for me to even consider them like just beating that Heat team or beating that Spurs team. I think it's not a sweep, but I do see them probably losing that series. So I have D tier. You have maybe B tier, so I guess C tier is the fairest thing to do.
I'm gonna give them C tier. I'm just giving a little bit more credit to their depth than like what Hakeem had and what whatchamacallit, Tim Duncan had in 03. So
for sure.
The 2023 Denver Nuggets.
The Laker merchants. I think, look, Nuggets fans, the pain is subdued because, 2024 was a worse season for me. I still think y'all are Laker merchants. I'm still going to slander because it's funny to do that because y'all talk a lot about us too, and y'all just try to act like you don't. I hate that kind of fan base. You shoot a bunch of people, then put your hands up like you're innocent. But being said, the 2023 Nuggets, I got to be fair. I think that this team could be, like, some people are going to argue A. I think that's a little bit of gas. I think that the Nuggets are probably like a mid B tier team. I think that there's certain teams in this era that can't really do anything with Nikola Jokic. However, that ain't every era. I think the Piston teams, hey, who the fuck you think you about to just do all this bullshit to? Now, I think they'll see Jokic do some moves and they'll think he's a fucking witch for sure. But like whether you're the Bulls, whether you're the Pistons team, whether you're the Mavericks, to be scary accurate as to how I think that would be a fun series. The Lakers even, the Raptors even, hell, that Bucks team even. I think that they're certainly in this tier more than they are a 29 Lakers, 2012 Heat, 2016 Cavs, 87 Magic, and you feel me? I think they're a B tier team. I understand because I went first it's going to seem like 8, but I'm being dead ass. I think they're just a step below that, and that's fine. They didn't even play a 50-win team. Now that was the hate part.
When I saw them, I was thinking A. I'm gonna be honest, because I think Jokic last season was just in the playoffs.
Yeah, Jokic
different type of timing. Jamal Murray, it wasn't just the Lakers.
It wasn't. Everyone. I can't call them Laker merchants in 2023, man.
Yeah, and then everyone else, just a really, really well-coached team. KCP, great 3-and-D guy on the wing. Aaron Gordon, his ability to defend multiple positions. Be a guy in that pick and roll as well. MPJ being the sharpshooter that he is. The Denver Nuggets are just an extremely well-rounded team. I'm leaning, if it is B, high B instead of, because you said mid B. I'm leaning towards high B.
My thing is, I'm just going directly. Fuck it, let's just do it linearly. 86 Celtics, I think they got it. 87 Lakers, I think they got it. 92 Bulls, I think they got it. 02 Lakers. That'd be a true test of which one's depth or what's it called? But I think they got it because I think Shaq is just like, hey man, both Shaq and Jokic can't guard each other, so I think that'd be hilarious. 07 Spurs, 05 Spurs. I do think the Nuggets probably have comp there, and maybe that's telling. 08 and the Celtics, I think there's comp there. 08, oh yeah. I could see them.
I think they beat the 87 Lakers, but again, it's on some like era shit, and they wouldn't know like what the fuck is a drop.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very fucking weird.
I mean, it's a problem with comparing eras, but
yeah, this is highlighting the issue right now because I feel like it's a little bit of dishonesty into it as well. But I could hear A, so I'll take back the mid B comment. I don't know if I want to go to A tier because I don't think they dwarfed the 2021 Bucks either, but do we think they probably beat the 2021 Bucks?
I'm gonna go B. But I'm not mad at
yeah. Comment below. I stand. I'm not doing the Nuggets thing bit. Comment below.
If they are a A, it's a A minus. If they are a B, it's a B plus.
Yeah.
But I feel more comfortable putting them in the tier with like the 2010 Lakers, the 2011 Mavs, 15 Warriors than like these damn near like
families. That 2011 Mavs, 2023 Nuggets would be great in my opinion, bro.
And last but not least, my
Floor
guys.
is yours, man. Don't say no bullshit, bro.
2024 Boston Celtics. Listen, man, listen. I am going to acknowledge that the path to the finals was weak. I'm going to acknowledge
Oh my
that.
God!
I am also going to acknowledge that Jason Tatum did not play great in these playoffs. He did not play at tier 1 levels. He was not the tier 1 player playing at tier 1 levels that I've been saying all year. But in terms of just how well-rounded this team is, it does not get much better than how well-rounded this fucking team is, man. From 1 through 6, shot creators, versatile defenders, floor spacers, rim protectors. You even got some bag work in there, you know, for my aesthetic guys. In terms of the statistics, listen, I understand they're in the East, so it's a weaker conference, but even if you look at how they played against the West in the regular season, obviously they played the Western Conference champions and they busted their ass after y'all told me that anyone who comes out the West was busting their ass. I think the 24 Celtics, it's tough. I ain't gonna lie. This one's tough right here. I'm leaning towards A. And I'll probably stay at A. I think they're giving a lot of these A teams a run for their money. And especially if JT, you know, actually hits a shot depending on the series. That team is actually a completely different team. Like this 20, I understand like JT, the way that he played, that's what I'm judging on. But I'm telling you, if we roll the ball out and JT's going off and KP is healthy, boy, that's a fucking problem. So I'm gonna stick them at A. Yeah, I'm gonna leave them there.
Ah, man. Every dog has his day. Bezos is definitely the dog of the day. Kyrie, you lied to me. You all lied to me about Kyrie, actually. You know what? I'm not even going to guide this towards Kyrie. I'm going to guide this towards you all for lying to me about him. But, hey, man, rant and pain aside, I have to be fair. Y'all know if I'm not friendly with the Nuggets, how you think I feel about Celtics fans? Not the other one. Celtics fans. For me, I got to call it what it is. If Tatum was a tier 1 player playing at a tier 1 level, if Tatum was an all-time great playing at an all-time great, this wouldn't be a discussion. I would even say they're S. Well, because he's not, I probably say that they're definitely solid A tier. I think you hit it right on the nail. I think that y'all, despite whatever, I don't know how Boston fans feel about it. I think you guys were always the best shooting team in the league. Even just hitting sort on the playoff shits. Most of your shooters were knocking down shots. KP didn't have a large sample size. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were technically struggling the most. But if the concern is Jason Tatum hitting 3-point shots, okay. So, yeah, I think that you guys were just significantly the best shooting team. And in the regular season, that's backed up very well statistically. I don't know how the hell you're second. You shoot the most threes. You make the most threes. My God. And even just looking at it now, Xavier Tillman is the first bad shooter on your team, and he didn't play that much this year. I think that you guys are scary good defensively in terms of perimeter play. You guys have a competent enough front court. Now, the reason that I think you aren't clear-cut S despite being nice to Jason Tatum, for any Celtics fans that are like, what do you mean it's a super team? You could argue it is. I would probably actually argue relative to this era, it is a super team. My issue is, for example, looking at the teams in A tier, I'll do it. My 2020 Lakers giving y'all a problem. A bunch of rim run is actually the Celtics' worst nightmare, and getting perimeter play is what their forte is. So a team like the 2012 Heat, that's actually what they want. A team like the 2016 Celtics, to a lesser degree, because LeBron James is on it, but it's not just LeBron and no, actually, let me take that back. Because 2012, Dwayne Wade slashing might be an issue as well. 2016 Cavs, though, that's the kind of matchup they want. They want to be able to take out a perimeter player and deal with the one rim pressure threat. But if you got two, you in trouble. Let's see, if you got two people that can attack the basket, they're in trouble. So, but I don't think it's a sweep from the Celtics. I don't think Celtics v Celtics is a crazy series. I don't think 87 Lakers Celtics is a crazy series. I don't think 2020 and 2024 Celtics is a crazy series. I think they're very good either way. So that alone has me at A tier. I know I yapped it up, but that's how I feel, man. I'm yapping because I know y'all are like, you've been quiet. After 3-0, nigga, it is what it is, man. After 3-0, man. So I was gonna die by the hill, and I was gonna die in sync with the ship, and I died in sync with the ship, man. Luke will be back though. That's all I'm gonna say. He's gonna be back. My glorious king.
Sage, can you just say like you were wrong?
I mean, factually, duh. Like what the fuck? What is the nod of approval there? Like what? I said Mavs in 4 and they lost in 5. Yeah, he's not right. But was I wrong about Luka being the GOAT? No.
That's a different discussion for a different day.
Nigga, Kyrie fucking hoed me, bro. Golly, bro. Yeah, if Kyrie Irving plays, huh?
Nothing.
Huh? Kyrie plays normal. If Kyrie is just normal, oh my God, game 1 and 2 are different, but he just fucking weird, bro.
You should have said Luka and Kai in 4 then. If you say Luka in 4, man, just look at Luka type shit. I feel it. Oh my
God. This result oriented ass winner puff. Oh my God. I gotta deal with this shit. Can't wait for the episode of Will, actually. Yes, we didn't forget about that series. Look, these are your modern day NBA champions. Bezos has to head out. I think we got a good list. The question is, do the 80s teams bump up? And are we holding any team in B tier?
Me personally, I am bumping up the Bad Boy Pistons to A. I think
which one? 89?
Honestly, it's similar to what was that team that was too close? We just put them in the same tier. I think it was the Bad Boy Pistons. they're too close enough to not be in the same tier. So it's either you move both of them up or both of them down. So I have
compared them a lot throughout this entire video, and my moniker is: if you're comparing someone a lot to everything else, they're probably better than everything else. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's just. That's an era defining team, and I think just putting them off in these like respectfully one-off winning teams and these like end of the dynasty last hurrah teams. I think the Pistons were better than that. Outside of that, I mentioned it earlier, we may have to move up the 86, 87, and 92 Bulls up to S. That's going to be a relative era thing, and the roll the ball out the argument is definitely not in their favor. In terms of like historical context, dominating their era, dominating their competition type shit. I don't think there's any metric that doesn't say that, like, yo, they actually are up there. So.
Yeah, relative alone, they're definitely S. Nobody was arguing that. I think we came from the standpoint of roll the ball out there. I don't think roll the ball out there, they beat any of those 4 teams. But definitely, historically speaking, they're S. And if that's what we want to give the nod to, then go for it. I'm not triggered. The only thing about the Pistons being up is I'm looking at the Pistons and I'm looking at that Warriors and that Raptors team, and I'm like, I don't know. But
it's just weird to me to say there was no S tier team in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? That's my only like, damn. And that whole era had no S tiers. Like, God.
That's weird to you. You're lucky he controls the list. Oh my God, so sages. You are lucky he controls the list at the end of the day, because weird to him. Shit ain't weird to me. What the fuck? There's no S tier team. They suck.
With that being said, man, season 5, man, forever, and I'm out, man. Peace.
Luka will return
in shape.
Better shooter, huh?
In shape.
So now we're doing this too. This what it is now. You ain't do this with Jokic.
Oh my God,
you ain't do this with Jokic. And this is what I mean when y'all are some results oriented ass niggas. You ain't do that with Jokic. Jokic ain't got to be in shape. Why Luka got to be in shape? My man's about to smoke hookah this season. The fuck? Yeah,
Luka's fat.
Man, Bezos is letting Twitter takes, and yeah, he's just gonna be insufferable. He's just letting Twitter get to him now. Twitter and winner's high, man. Take care, stay blessed. We'll see you next time. Luka gotta be in shape. Oh my God, he should though. He probably should. It doesn't hurt to be in shape.
Wait, a pro athlete should.
A pro athlete looking like a pro athlete. Like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. All right, y'all.